and welcome to the ADHD Friendly Podcast. I'm Patty Blinderman. I'm a professionally certified ADHD coach and mom of four. I have ADHD, several of my kids have ADHD, so my passion is researching and using ADHD-friendly tools, resources, and services, and bringing them here to share them with you in the hopes that it helps support your life to be a little bit more ADHD-friendly so you're thriving. Today, I'm joined by my assistant. I almost forgot she was over there. There she is.
Hi, everyone.
This is Becca. Becca, last year when I did my first annual ADHD Friendly Favorite Things episode was off camera.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, she kind of like just discreetly handed me things. But this year I asked her and she said yes, that she was willing to come and join me on the podcast. So you're actually my first official guest.
Yes. Very excited to be here. So exciting.
It's a landmark day. I almost forgot you're over there. I just right in my flow. And I was like, who is this person? So we're going to be sharing the favorite things list on this podcast. But first, I've got a little bit of housekeeping things I do.
Yes.
All right. So giving an overview, I'm still going to share a celebration. As I always do, I start with a celebration. And this week it is a tech win. You know, I love a tech win.
Great.
Next, I will share an ADHD friendly tip related to using laughter to support yourself. And then our topic, the bulk of our podcast, and a little heads up, this is a longer podcast than I typically do. So get some coffee, get a comfy spot, relax, or maybe decide when you'll come back and finish it if you don't have time to watch the whole thing today. And give me feedback if you think it was too long. I want to know, but I got to get through the 22 things. So we practice it and it's definitely about twice as long as a typical podcast. But we're going to go through those 22 things. And then I'm just going to share a really quick subscriber update for my YouTube subscribers out there. Thanks. And then I'm going to highlight what's coming up in the next episode. Ready with the celebration?
Let's do it.
All right. You guys know celebrating is one of my favorite things. And my celebration is that I hacked the tech to be able to make the ADHD friendly things sticker that I wanted to make for this podcast. And it was definitely challenging. I had several versions. So this was, I'm just going to hold these up. If you're listening to this podcast, I invite you to check out my YouTube channel, ADHD Friendly Podcast, if you want to see the pictures. But this was the very first one. And basically I took my podcast logo and put it into a circle. That was it. It didn't work very well. And then I took my Canva program, which I have a professional subscription to, and they had a button sticker setting. So I went in and I made it, but the words were kind of squished and condensed. It didn't let me put my logo in there. It just didn't work. So I was really close to just accepting this was as good as it was going to get, but it kept kind of nagging at me. And I kept thinking, there's got to be a way, there's got to be a way. And so finally I went in with a calm brain, not overwhelmed with my tech frustration. And I did it.
Yay.
Up here, if you want to see a bigger picture of it, it says 2022 ADHD friendly favorite things. Makes me so stinking happy because the curve, I learned how to adjust it to be the perfect arc on the top and the bottom. And so it's clear and pretty and looks professional, checked all the boxes, and then I made it into a sticker. So very, very, very happy about that. That's my celebration. Woo-hoo.
It's a win.
It is a win. All right. Now we're going to go into my ADHD friendly tips for today. And it's laughter. I already got her laughing. So when we practiced this, I intentionally did not tell Becca the things that I was going to share because I wanted her honest reaction. She may not find the things I'm going to share funny and laugh, but I didn't want it to be in any way not authentic. So I asked her if we could skip that part during our rehearsal, and I'm going to do it live now. So as part of my personal owner's manual, I collect things that make me laugh. I collect things that make me smile, that make me happy, that just fill me with positivity. And laughter is the thing that will do that the quickest. But it's also something that is very personal. What makes me laugh may not make you laugh. And having a way to access those quickly when we need them is key. So if you're feeling low energy, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're emotionally dysregulated, being able to find something that's going to make you laugh, not easy to do, if not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So having a go-to list or a go-to, I have a file with clips that I can just pull from. I have a picture folder in my app in my phone
Yeah.
that has pictures in it that just make me laugh and bring me joy.
I love
And
that.
so I've been watching the PBS documentary Baseball by Ken Burns. And in the episode that I watched recently, they shared some really funny sayings that were attributed to Yogi Berra, who apparently was a pretty funny guy. And so that sent me into my love of learning kind of like kicked in. I was like, oh, let me go find what else he said, because I couldn't remember them all, my working memory being what it is. So I had to go do some research, and I made a list of the ones that were my favorites, and I'm going to share them here and hope that they make you laugh too. So here they are. These are Yogi Berra isms. I know. So he had a very kind of quirky, dry sense of humor. So the first one is, and so these are all pretty much baseball related. I'll just go ahead and share that.
Okay.
So he said, if fans don't want to come out to the park, nobody's going to stop them. Okay, this one's really great. 90% of hitting is 90% of hitting is mental. The other half is physical. And then he was talking about a player that hits left and right.
Okay.
He said he hits from both sides of the plate. He's amphibious instead of ambidextrous. And then he said that he gets asked a lot whether he said some of these sayings that he's very famously known for saying. And the interviewer said he had to answer for that too. Yogi Berra said, I really didn't say half the things I've said.
It's like, no, none of this is.
And then there's one other one that I didn't highlight, but it's funnier when I reread it when we were practicing. So I decided to throw it in here. I'm going to end with this one. He said that when someone looked at him, or he said, when someone said that he looked good in his suit, he replied to them, thanks, you don't look so hot yourself. Right. So those are my funny Yogi Berra isms that just struck me as funny because they're unexpected things that he said, and they're going into my palm and my list of things that make me laugh.
I love that.
All right. So that was my tip, find things that make you laugh and capture them in your personal owner's manual so you can tap into them when you need them. You ready for the favorite things?
Yes.
I feel like we should have like a drum roll, get a little like, we
It
got a fire going on here behind.
is getting a little toasty.
Here it's getting hot. All right.
Toasty.
22 things this year for 2022. So these are our 2022 ADHD friendly favorite things list.
Yes.
You ready for 22?
Yes. Let's.
All right. I have to do a disclaimer first.
Oh, right. Your disclaimer.
Here's my full disclaimer. All the opinions shared here are mine. They may not resonate with you. They may not be your experience. I did use every one of these things, so I'm speaking from my experience. I will not share a product that I have not personally used or experienced myself. So everything in here is being shared from that sense of what worked for me and what I found to be ADHD friendly. And all of them met at least one of my ADHD friendly criteria to be included in this list. And the criteria includes things like they created more ease, or they removed a toleration, or maybe they create some fun interest or play in my day. They could be an executive function tool that supports my executive functioning skills. Or maybe they supported my love of learning, as I already mentioned with my little deep dive in the Yogi Berra sayings.
Yes.
Love of learning is my #1 VIA character trait. And so being able to tap into that is key. And then the other thing is they could support a foundational habit. I call the big 3 foundational habits of sleep, diet, and exercise. So if they work to support one of those key foundational areas, that's a strong contender for my list any day of the week, because it's so important to support those core things to support our brain wiring. So again, if one of these don't resonate with you, I invite you to reach out, share it in the comments. If you liked something that I shared, please share that too. If you can hear the information in the background going on, I apologize. My Alexa is talking, and I probably am going to get her talking by saying her name again. Hopefully that's not going to come through, but we're going to keep going forward.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to start with, I've got, my list is over there. I've got 4 things I'm going to share from travel. I've got 3 books. I'm just giving you a heads up what's coming of the 22 things. 3 are books. I have 5 executive function tools. I have 3 podcasts and or YouTube channels. And then I have 7 home personal items. We're going to start with travel. I've got 4 in the travel category. I'll take those from you. All right. So I'm going to begin with Monos, MONOS packing cubes. So these are not available on Amazon. Almost everything I'm sharing today is available on Amazon except for a handful of items. And we're going to include the website for the items that are not available on Amazon. And so this is available on monos.com if this interests you. There are tons of packing cubes out there. These are more pricey than a lot of the ones on the market. So this is one of the ones I'm calling, it's the quality warrants the price for me. They were $90 for a set of 4, and I was able to get them for $76 with a coupon code. They are very ADHD friendly because they help to not only organize the clothes in your suitcase, but they also compress to create a little bit more space. And it just supports organization and more ease when you're traveling. So Monos packing cubes, and I'm just going to share some pictures. So in the suitcase, I packed, here it is. I packed 3 sweatshirts, 2 pairs of jeans, 3 long sleeve shirts, 1 pair of pajamas, and the pajamas are similar to what we're wearing. It's a winter set of PJs with tops and bottoms, kind of flannel. So they're, not a tiny little pair. It's a substantial pair of PJs, 3 socks, 3 pairs of underwear, and 1 pair of sneakers. No toiletries in the bag. You'll hold that guy. This is our before. So I just wanted to share the picture. Again, if you're listening to this and you want to check out the pictures, they can be seen on our YouTube channel, ADHD Friendly Podcast. They were taken at both sides, and you can see I wanted to get a picture of how much it was pushing this is a carry-on suitcase size suitcase. And it's just extending a bit above. You can see it's kind of pushing up a little bit, and the clothes on the right-hand side are just held in with the little strap. If you use that, I've never used that little strap, but it's there. And then we put everything into the packing cubes. So this is the after. Everything fit on the left-hand side except for the sneakers, which are on the right. So again, I wanted to share, looking at it from the side view, it's really not pushing up anymore, or maybe even a little bit less than the clothes were when they were on this side and this side.
Right.
So it created about 2/3 more space on that half of the suitcase. Now, in full disclosure, I probably could have shoved all of these clothes on this side. I'm not positive, but I probably could have fit a few more things over here and still made it work, but they would have definitely been shoved in there and really going to be wrinkly and not arrive at my destination looking as neat. So it creates a little bit more space because of the way that they condense down, they compress. So I wanted to just share what they look like. So again, they come in a set of 4. So Becca, if you'll hold up, this is 3 sweatshirts, and I picked 3 similar sweatshirts so that we'd have a pretty authentic representation of what they look like in here compared to holding them.
So
yeah, exactly. But full disclosure, this was not easy to close. Becca was here when I did it, and it took a lot of me sitting on it and really probably took me 2 or 3 minutes to get it to fully zip shut. It was more of a challenge that I was like, I am closing this thing, but it's very satisfying to know that my sweatshirts fit in here.
Yeah.
And how much less space they take up.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
The difference there.
And here's the beauty of this system. So I'm actually going to unzip it. So there's 2 lines of zippers here, and this is where it's a little bit more of the quality of the product that it gives you than just a standard cube. So a standard packing cube, I'm opening the right side, yeah, is going to do this. I wonder how hard it's going to be to unzip after how long it took me to zip it. Okay, so this is what you'll find with a standard packing cube. Now you're not going to have the before again, because I'm not going to be able to zip it back up. But this, so you just unzip it, you can see the mesh top, you can see into it, which is quite lovely. You can put maybe sort it by outfits when you're packing, so you can easily see once you close it up what's in there, so you can not have to open everything up and dig through your suitcase. Oh yeah, this is my outfit for Saturday.
Right.
This is my dinner outfit, whatever. And then but the added benefit is it has a second zipper that goes the opposite way of when you closed it. This one goes counterclockwise, or actually this one goes clockwise,
yeah,
to compress it. So it's saving space as well. You don't have to compress it, but it has that option if you want to make a little bit more space in your travel carry-on bag. The other sizes that came in it are this rectangular shape, this square shape. I put my jeans and a couple of shirts in here. I put my socks and underwear in this one, and I put the extra shirts and PJs in this one. Everything fit in beautifully for a weekend travel. They come in 2 different sizes. Again, $76 for, or how much did I say it was? I put it down already. They were $90 for 4, monos.com.
Yes.
That is our first travel item. Moving on. Number 2 of 22. These are Cadence capsules. A couple of my clients actually have mentioned these over the years. I resisted them because they're a little pricey. They were $76 for 6. They are available at keepyourcadence, CADENCE.com. Again, they'll be in the show notes. And what they are is their travel. Ooh, thank you. This is so wonderful that you're here, Becca. They're travel little containers that I'm going to hand that back to you. They come in multiple different colors. Oh, look, my little.
But
Oh
that's
my
gosh.
gosh.
Yeah, they come right
I've
off.
never done that.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's very sparkly.
We're finding out new things about these capsules.
Well, how I thought it'd be hard. They sell these by themselves. So, and I was paying attention because I named a couple of these and things that I would probably change them now that I've started using them. I ordered they come in it's called Build Your 6. So you start with a set of 6. You can't buy less than 6. Full disclosure. I chose 2 different colors. You can make each one a different color. You can totally customize them and it's included in the price. But then you can choose what you want each one to be labeled as. And I'm thinking now that's just what I can do is change the little top,
labels.
just move it over. Because I don't care if the label doesn't match the color.
Yeah.
But I did 2 different colors. I did the products for the shower and the products to wash my face and, foundation, that kind of thing. They're magnetic, so they all stay together really nicely. They're leak proof, so you pack them and they're not going to get all over your luggage. You're not going to leak and make a mess.
Nice.
They're airtight, so it's just really nice to travel. So I finally broke down after hearing a number of my clients rave about these as a travel tool. And I have to say, they're pretty cool.
Worth the hype.
They don't hold a ton of shampoo and conditioner, but enough for like a weekend trip.
Getaway.
So
yeah,
those are going to be refilled more often, but they're really easy to refill and very ADHD friendly because it keeps it all in one thing, and they're already ready to go. I don't have to pack each time I go. I just grab them and put them in my bag and gone, or leave them in the bag because I'm not going to use them except when I'm traveling.
Yeah.
So they create travel ease, and the quality of these products to me warrants the price. One little tip, if Cadence you're watching, I would love it if you doubled the size and made these like a full, 2 or 3 ounce container.
Oh,
You already have the whole system, just make them a little bigger for the shampoo and conditioner. I would buy
very
that in a
smart.
heartbeat.
I second that notion.
All right. So number 3, Apple, you made their list.
Woohoo!
Air tags. I'm upside down. Air tags.
AirTag.
Air tags. This is a set of 4. I bought mine from Apple for $94.98 for 4. They're also available on Amazon for a similar price. What I love about these is you can customize them, which is why I got them on Apple, because I wanted to get them engraved. It's included in the price, where I made one with a little image of an icon of my luggage and then my initials on it. You can tuck them in my luggage bag. I know where my luggage is, so if I check it and the airline loses it, hasn't happened yet. But I love knowing that I'll know where it is. So like, we don't know where. I'm like, I can tell you where it is. I can look it up on my phone. So you can use it for things. I have one in my car. So if I park my car someplace and I forget where I parked it, especially if I'm traveling and I'm somewhere that I'm not familiar. So I just think that this is, you can use it in so many different ways, and you can buy additional little like tags to put them in to hang them from your keychain if you don't want to lose your keys. Tuck it in your purse if you lose your purse or your wallet. They're small. I actually should have one in my hand. I'm just showing the picture of it because they're all being used. But I really, really enjoyed them, and it will alert you. So I know that these were in the news for people were using them in not very good ways, where they were tucking them inside maybe like a woman's purse and not, letting them know. And so they knew where they were.
Yeah, that's scary.
Where now if you have an Apple device, it will tell you if there's an AirTag near you that isn't yours, that isn't linked to your device. So it's a friendly way. hopefully that's keeping it safe. But from my experience, what I'm using it for, I really am enjoying it. And that's another the quality warrants the price because it works really, really well. I've used Tile for years and I find that these are more sensitive and more specific to the location instead of like, it's within like,
This vicinity.
5 acres of where you are, it's much more specific. Okay, the last travel product is a luggage scale. This is from Freetoo, Freeetoo. And it's $13.99 on Amazon. And what I love about this is it eliminates the overweight bag fee. Before you even go, you can weigh your bag. It comes with this little strap and a hook. It's set when you turn it on to kilometers, but you can change it to pounds. Otherwise, I would have returned it. And you just hook it on your bag and hold it up, and it literally reads out on this little screen what the weight is in pounds. And so if it's above, like I know like a lot of airlines, 50 pounds, you can go ahead and take a few things out and make sure it's going to be under the weight limit. So you're not at the airport counter. And I don't know if you've ever done this. You probably haven't. Becca's very organized and structured. But I've been at the counter multiple times where my husband and I are like pulling crap out of the bag and putting it into our carry-on to get it under the limit. So we're not having to pay the overweight baggage fee.
Right.
It's like one more insult to arrive and have to deal with that, especially at the end of a trip when you have souvenirs. So this was like really handy, like on our cruise when we came back with many more things than we left with, where you could weigh the bag and make sure it doesn't overweight. So
very smart.
Freetoo luggage scale, $13.99 on Amazon. So those are the travel items. Now we're moving on to the 3 books that made the ADHD friendly things list. And I'm starting with a brand new book. This just came out in the last couple of months. The Book of Boundaries.
Ooh.
Right? Even the cover, everything about this is sparkly.
It's very sparkly.
Boundaries are something I work with all of my clients. It is a very common challenge for those of us with ADHD brain wiring for a myriad of reasons. And her subtitle is Set the Limits That Will Set You Free. It's by Melissa Urban. It's available on Amazon for $22.19. It is not written for ADHD brain wiring, but so ADHD friendly in the way that it's written.
Yeah.
And it so relates to the challenges that we have around boundaries. She's very honest in her own challenges with setting boundaries and how challenging they are to set. So she doesn't trivialize it and be like, you just need to say no. That doesn't work. But not only is she really have very nice language around her experiences with boundaries and how you can go about setting them in ways that will work for you. She's really honest about the need to practice it. It's like a muscle. It's a skill you're going to have to build up. So she really does a nice job of explaining how to do that. Her quote that I want to share here is, a clear, kind boundary doesn't require you to over-explain or make excuses for your needs.
Love that.
I love that. This is so resonated with me, which is why that was the quote I pulled from here, because I used to always over-explain myself. And what I learned when I was setting a boundary was it just gave them an ammunition to argue with me and be like, oh, well, you don't have to do that part. I'll do that. I'm like, no, okay, I really don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And so what I love is that almost permission to say no and stop.
Right. No is a full sentence.
That's it. That is my answer. I don't need to give any justification to it. That's it. So in addition to setting boundaries around work, around relationships, or even self-boundaries, there's a whole chapter in here on self-boundaries that I did in my Club Calm group last month. So good. Here's the part that made this a favorite things book this year. She gives the language, she gives scripts, she gives examples for tons of different scenarios in different environments with different people in different settings. And she breaks it down into 3 different levels of boundaries. She calls them green, yellow, red boundaries. So she starts with green, and she's really great because it makes you laugh. She's like, you're not starting with a red boundary, because a red boundary can be really off-putting to someone. It can feel very abrupt,
right,
even bordering on rude. So she gives the language for each example too. So she'll start with, this is a green boundary where you're going to maybe say this, and she gives a couple of examples. And it's so much easier to set a boundary if you know what to say. I know for myself, I would like ruminate and spend sleepless nights thinking, how would I ever say no to that?
Right.
How am I going to manage this? They're coming for the holidays. I know they're going to ask me this, or I know they always do this.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to respond. So she gives some really nice example and nice language for how to respond. So the Book of Boundaries, Melissa Urban, great book. $21.19 on Amazon.
Woo.
All right, book number 2. This is written for those of us with ADHD. This is from a colleague of mine, Tamara Rosier. Your Brain's Not Broken. strategies for navigating your emotions and life with ADHD. Again, really well written. The language very accessible, really clear. I've seen Tamara speak multiple times, and one of the reasons why I always sign up for her talks when I have the opportunity is because she is so good at distilling down the most essential elements and explaining them in a way that's very easy to not only understand, but to take and put it in practice in your life. And she does it again, no disappointment here. She does it again in her book. She talks a lot about managing emotions and how energy and low tolerance for the idea of losing energy. So this part really resonated with me. She talks about how even thinking about how much energy something will take can drain our energy to do it.
Totally.
And so things that I'm an ADHD coach, I know a lot of the stuff that she shares in here, but the way that she shared it was so helpful to have another way of looking at it and really condense it down into a concise way to connect to it. And then, of course, there's things in here that I wasn't even aware of. She shared new research and things. So it was just full of tons of information for me to get through a book. And I always say, when there's flags around my book like this, it is a telltale sign that it's a good read and something I want to go back to, because I know there's gold in here. There's things that are going to help me and help my clients. So Your Brain's Not Broken, available on Amazon, $16.16.
Such a steal.
Such a steal. And her last, one of her final chapters is on parenting children with ADHD chapter. She talks about the qualities of parents who really do a great job of raising their kids with ADHD. And I just wanted to share that here. She says their endless empathy. I literally got emotional when I read this because it's so true. Endless empathy, trusting respect. Oh, it's hard. Sorry. Stubborn love. It's so true. Stubborn love.
Yeah.
And gentle honesty.
I love that.
Right on camera.
Love
Excellent.
that.
Excellent.
Love
Excellent.
that.
Okay. Okay.
Next book.
I'll cry for this one too. It's my favorite Harry Potter book, Harry Potter 5. This is not new. This came out in 2003.
It's been around the
I
block.
read it when it was new before the movie came out. And the reason that this is not specifically my favorite thing, but the favorite thing is related to this.
Yes.
So I just wanted to share, when I read this, it was before the movies came out. So the movie literally was in my head. The thing I love about, in case you don't know, written by J.K. Rowling, I should say that. The only images were the little sketches that she would do at the beginning of the chapters. And it would give a little insight into what was coming, a little idea of what something might look like. I loved the images of the first chapter so stinking much. It was just so sparkly when I still remember reading this. This is the original hardcover edition of book 5. It is precious to me. But my favorite thing for this year is, of course, the brand new Jim Kay illustrated edition of that same book. Come on.
Very exciting.
I have all of these. I get them every year for each of my kids. It is a bit of an investment when you're buying 4 of them. They are available on Amazon right now for $31.99. Their regular price is almost $55. I bought mine at Costco for the same price, $31.99. On Amazon, it has it on sale. So I'm hoping by the time this comes out, if you haven't gotten it yet, that it will still be that price. Amazon doesn't sell it online. They only have it in their warehouse. So if you remember and you can't get it on Amazon, Costco might still have it. I love this so much. If you haven't experienced Harry Potter, I was about to say, shame on you. I'm kidding.
How dare you?
I just invite you to check it out. It is just a world that comes to life. This is the very front cover. Literally, you open up, this is on the back side of the front cover. Grimmauld Place. I could just sit and stare at this and the details of what's on the sidewalk, the windows. It shows number 11 and number 13 in the picture. And then if you jump to the back cover, I love how it's kind of dark. It shows number 12 Grimmauld Place. When it's expanded where you can see it.
That's very cool.
It's so cool. And then I'm just going to share a couple of pictures inside to highlight why I love the illustrations so much. It's not just the illustrations, it's the emotion and the energy that they capture in the illustrations. So this is very first, chapter 1, Dudley Demented. And it's when, in the very beginning of this chapter, Harry is laying outside of his aunt and uncle's house in here a bed of hydrangeas, listening to the news, and that's on the TV in his aunt and uncle's sitting room. And it just has a relaxed summer kind of feel. It's light, it has bright colors. And then shortly after, in the book, when you get to the chapter on occlumency, it's a very dark feel. The pages are dark, all of the images are dark. So I just feel like the energy and the mood is so beautifully portrayed.
Yeah.
And there's images behind the images. It's just so beautifully done. That it just adds another element to a book that I've read countless times, and I can't wait to go through and read every page of this again. This is new. I've just gotten it and went through all of the pictures, and I've just, read parts of it here and there, but I just want to, over my holiday break, just sit and give that gift to myself of just reading it with all
Yeah.
of the pictures in there.
So fun.
A favorite thing for sure. The first four did not disappoint. Same, it's the same exact book. It's just illustrated. So absolute favorite thing. All right, moving on. So we've done books, we've done travel. Now we're on executive function tools. And we're going to start with one of my favorite executive function tools. And this is an annual dry erase calendar. This is done by Swift Glimpse wall calendar. It's available on Amazon for $28.90. It's a 32-inch by 48-inch 20. This is my example. It was 2021. A new one comes out each year. I use it to plot out like big things like vacation, so I can see it coming up. The lovely thing about this is it has a reverse side. So if you don't like the horizontal layout or it doesn't fit in your space, it has a vertical layout. I haven't used the vertical layout the last few years, but when I had this in my office in Raleigh, I had a pocket door and I used the vertical because it fit perfectly on the vertical sliding pocket door. And I could see it when I closed the door and I was working in my office, and it would neatly slide out of place if I needed to open the door.
Oh, yeah.
So having that flexibility, very friendly. It's dry erase. One of my tips is to use wet erase marker for things like, for me, like vacation, things that don't move around once I put them in there, birthdays, things I want to remember. And then I use the regular dry erase for things that might need to be moved so I can erase it really easily. But that way the important things won't get erased by accident. And the things I want to move around won't frustrate me that I have to go get a damp cloth to wipe them off. So I have this year's, this is 2021 that Becca was holding up. It's in burgundy.
Yes.
They tend to alternate colors, blue and burgundy. So I already have my 2023 calendar and planner. Same exact one from Swift Glimpse I get every year. And this year's is in blue. Blue is my favorite color. So I am looking forward to getting that up on my wall and starting to fill it in with my 2023 things. It's a time management tool for your executive function of time management, but it also stretches your time horizon. I have to say, the first time I put that out, I remember my husband was like, I can't think about what's coming up in the summer because it was January. And I was like, but if we don't plan it, we won't do anything. We literally won't take a vacation. So it's just a tool to use what works for you. If it's overwhelming, maybe you just look at the January, but you can see what's coming up if it's there and it's insight in mind. So that's the first one. Next is another calendar, and this is a month calendar. So this is it's by Cranberry desktop calendar. And what I love about this is I use it, it sits on my desk. I use it to track my habits primarily. I've noticed over the years that this really works because I can see it as soon as I come to my desk and I mark it off. It pulls me into tracking. This is my October from this year yoga habit, going strong. I'm in my 60th week of my yoga habit.
That's very exciting.
And tracking is a big piece of my success with it. And this lets me see it. I love this calendar too, because I've had ones over the years. I've used a desk calendar for years, that like a desk blotter calendar like this is. And every month the border changes, which I find creates interest and sparkle. I've had the ones that are just, kind of white on black, and it's just not very interesting and sparkly, and it doesn't pull me into it. I love tearing the page off every month to see what's beyond it. So I already have this year's. It's a 16-month calendar. I have not even opened it yet, so I'm only going to benefit pretty much from 2023 because they always overlap. But it goes through December of 2023. The little border is different every year. It has lines, which I really like personally. If you look at it closely, it has lines to write on. It's available on Amazon for, did I say how much? I already said how much.
Yes.
I don't have that paper in front of me anymore, so it's gone. But
It's
it's available on Amazon, and very ADHD friendly to see the
Yes.
month or to track things, depending on how you use it. It actually has holes as well. If you want to hang it on the wall as a family calendar, it will totally work for that way too. I use it more for a desk calendar, but it absolutely can be used as a wall calendar to support you to see what's coming up, appointments and commitments throughout the month. Next up is something that is not available on Amazon. So this is a Container Store product, containerstore.com. It's a clear file box that comes in two different sizes. The smaller one is $8.99. There's a slightly larger one that is $9.99. You can see if you turn it sideways up like mine, like this. It's a bit wider, same exact style and function, just the large one $9.99, the smaller one $8.99. I use this for my Club Palm for the year. I do a monthly Club Palm group to support people to continue adding to and building their personal owner's manual. And there's a different topic each month. And so I just put in my 12 topics. And so that way during the year, I can save what I already worked on, but I can also tuck things in there as they come up. I'm like, oh, this will be great for my Seinfelding ADHD Club Palm meeting. And it just gives me a place to easily put it. I can see it. It's open topped, so it's easily accessible. I can just literally, take things out when I need them and tuck them back in. What I know about ADHD brain wiring is if it's out of sight, out of mind, like in a file drawer, we forget it exists and we tend to put it in a pile, like I'll file it later. I'll open that file drawer later. As silly as it seems, opening the file drawer is an extra step. And if that's going to create resistance, clear file boxes are one of my absolute favorite things. Great price, great at keeping things organized, visible, flexible, accessible. Checks all the boxes. ADHD friendly favorite thing in 2022. All right, my next thing is a very small little guy. This is an Aisberger, AISBURGER pocket notebook. Have I shared my pocket notebook love with you?
You have. I love it.
this.
It's so cute.
It has like a faux leather finish. It has a little strap here, elastic strap that will hold pen, pencil. Comes in a 2-pack, available on Amazon, $11.99 for 2. Come on. Has a little strap to keep it closed so it's not going to open and get all kind of ruined.
Right, the pages won't get all
So I love that. It has the little, if you want to mark your page.
very helpful.
What is that called? String? A little page,
Page
marker?
marker?
There you go. Page marker. It has a
Page
page
marker.
marker. Oh, that's 2. I never knew it had
2 page markers.
Markers. I've used the one. How did I miss that? I use this all the time. I have one of these in my purse, in my car, in the driver's side pocket door.
Yes.
I have one in my knitting bag. I have one in my nightstand. I just love them. They are a working memory tool because I will just jot things down and tear out the sheet if I need to remember something. If I go to the doctor's office and I did not bring my health binder to write things down, I can literally jot down notes and take it and then transfer it into my health binder when I get home. I love these so much. They just support my ability to capture what I need and remember it with ease. So Aisberger pocket notebooks, $11.99 for 2 on Amazon. Next up, last item in my executive function skills category is my favorite. Becca knows this is my favorite thing. It's a fidget. It is called a 1-inch metal coil spring. I ask you, what do you call it?
A slinky?
But it's not. It's not made by Slinky, so they call it a 1-inch metal coil spring.
So that was a specific brand.
Exactly. So it's just a 1-inch metal coil spring. What I love about it, number one, is the price. It comes in a 12-pack on Amazon for $15.97 for 12. Oh, great stocking stuffer. This is how it comes packaged. They come in
cute.
2 or 3 different colors. I think mine came in 6 silver and 6 gold.
Yes.
Silver and gold. Great stocking stuffer. If you not too little, right? You want to be mindful of tiny little kids.
Yes.
Not want to put it in their mouth. Not good. But for adults, absolutely a great fidget because it's small, discreet, doesn't make any noise, doesn't light up. It's for if you're tactile with your fidgets, it's very smooth. Have I allowed you to?
No, I've not had the pleasure of, oh, that is nice.
And so I literally just rub my thumb along it. I keep one at my desk. There's one in my purse. I've been in meetings, like PTA meetings and things with little kids where their parents were trying to keep their child satisfied, like 5 more minutes, for their training's almost over. And I'll ask them, would it be helpful if they had a Slinky? And I usually have one actually still in the packaging, so I can just give it to them if their parents agree. And if it gets, as it tends to, sometimes if you're especially a kid playing with it, I brought these to my daughter's class yesterday when I visited her 2nd grade class, and 2 of the kids, I almost instantly got it, where it got tangled, and they're still untangling them once you pretty much get it tangled. And I was like, okay, I've got another, because they're
here you go.
They're a little more than $1 each. So it's a easy thing to tolerate if it doesn't last forever. I've had this is my go-to one. This has been on my desk for years. I don't know if it's gotten more smooth because of how long
You're like rubbing your thumbs across it.
But I love it. It's just my absolute favorite fidget. I have a fidget ring, I have fidget necklaces, lots of fidgets, but this is, if I really need, like if my ring and my necklace isn't doing it, I will just almost, automatically just grab for this without even thinking about it. Because I actually pick the skin on my thumbs when I get stressed, and this will keep me from doing that. So I need something in my hands to help me to stay focused and just, kind of center and ground myself. So $15.97 on Amazon, 1-inch metal coil spring. Sparkly name. All right. That's it for the executive function tools. Now we're moving on to podcasts and YouTube channels. Only 3 things in this category, guys. We're getting there into the home stretch. So the first podcast that I want to acknowledge, have I ever told you my favorite podcast that my family like teases me to no end? Clark Howard, guys.
Clark Howard
podcast. Here's his picture. I'm showing it. If you aren't familiar with Clark, Clark is out of Atlanta. I have been listening to Clark for literally decades. Since before I had my first child, who is now 25. I used to listen to him on the radio. He had a radio show for years. He just finished the radio show recently, I'd say in the last year and a half or so, and only does the podcast, but it comes out 5 days a week. Every Friday, he does a segment called Clark Stinks, where he, gets people that write in it. It's a great model for me, because it reminds me to stay open to feedback in a way, I always say, ask for feedback in the way that you can tolerate it. And he loves hearing people call in and let him know. He always says, I learned from people's comments, what he can do better, and maybe where he dropped the ball. And I love that. So he talks, his mission is to help you save more, spend less, and not get ripped off. So I always say, yes, please.
That's great.
Because his information doesn't talk over me. It doesn't talk down to me. It's very positive. Clark is almost to a fault positive. And that's the thing I noticed with a lot of the products that I pick, especially the books and the podcast and YouTube channel. They're all very positive. I need positivity. I'm very impacted by negative things. And so I'm equally positively impacted by positive things. So all of those things definitely are positive influences for me. And so every day that I get to listen to Clark is a good day. So Clark Howard podcast, if you want some tips on how to save money and spend less money and not get ripped off, I share his podcast for you to check out in case that would be helpful for you. The next podcast I've talked about before, but it was picked as one of my 2 podcasts for my ADHD friendly favorite things. And that's the Happier podcast with Gretchen Rubin. Gretchen does the podcast with her sister, Elizabeth Kraft. And I've only started listening to them in the last year or 2. But what I love about their podcast is, again, it's all about things that create more happiness in your life. So she's always looking for things to bring and share that will create more happiness. And I love the structure of their podcast. I love that it focuses on things that make you more happy. It's positive, inspiring. And as I've shared before, I got my idea for my 22 and 22 lists. I did 21 and 21 lists last year. I love that structure. And it just really helped me to take that and build structure around it. And it helped me even with these favorite things, because I could have had 100 favorite things, but needing to narrow it down, because last year I did 21 things in 2021. This year it's 22. It made me prioritize. If I can only share 22 things, what are the things I absolutely have to share, and what things can I let go of? And it really works nicely. So I like that structure. So again, Happier with Gretchen Rubin. I invite you to check it out if you have not found them yet. Comes out once a week on Wednesdays. Free. Podcasts are free. And then I have one YouTube channel. This is also free. I've shared my win around my yoga with Adriene practice in the past, but I'm going to highlight it here as a favorite thing. And here is what her YouTube channel looks like. It's just Yoga with Adriene. If you search it on YouTube, it'll come up. She's got over 11 million subscribers, so you will have no trouble finding her. What I love about Adriene is the same thing I loved about the Clark Howard podcast and the Happier podcast is she is very positive. She's very accepting. I'm listening to recordings, but I feel like she's talking to me. She doesn't have music on in the background, and she records them live with her talking. So it's not her dubbing her voice over her routine. I find that very distracting. I've listened to a few other yoga routines. For whatever reason, that doesn't work for me. The music I find distracting, even grating. And it's interesting because you would think just her talking would be not enough to hold my interest.
Yeah.
But it works really nicely. She's got a nice little combo thing going on there that works, and it really resonates with me. It was the thing that broke me out of my rut of being able to exercise. I was looking long and hard. I kept trying to track in different ways and create sparkle and interest. And I just was trying to get back into a regular routine of some kind of physical activity. And I always liked the idea of yoga, but like I said, I hadn't found something that really resonated. And when I found Yoga with Adriene, I'm on week 60, guys. Haven't missed a day.
That's
Of my 4 days a
awesome.
week. I do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Haven't missed a single day. They're all free. She does offer a program where you can subscribe. I might at some point do that, but I've been doing this now for over a year and haven't felt the need to do that. There might be something that creates more ease if I subscribe. Maybe next year I'll update if I do that, but I'm recommending it as for a free version. Tons of all different ways to do yoga, all different themes and categories and everything.
And time,
the length of time. Yes. Yeah. So if you don't want to do a 45-minute one, which no, thank you. The ones I resonate towards are typically 15 to 25 minutes. So you can pick the one that works for you. You can turn it off and go to a different one because there's just so many. She does a lot of 30-day challenges. I think every January she does a 30-day one for free that you can sign up for, and she'll send you the video each day of the 30 days. I go back and redo them all. So Yoga with Adriene, very ADHD friendly. All right, we're in the last category. Stretch. How's it going, guys? I know, it's a long one. I'm sorry. I'm watching my time. All right. We got 7 products here in the home/personal category. The first, you maybe have been sitting there watching, going, why are they in PJs? We're in PJs because my PJs are one of my favorite things. And Becca wanting to play along with our theme came in her favorite PJs, but I'm highlighting her Christmas jammies. I'm highlighting my favorite PJs that are from LL Bean. So this is not available on Amazon, llbean.com. They are women's Scotch plaid flannel PJs. They're in the Dress Gordon is the color name. I don't know why. I'm sure it makes sense if you know something about Dress Gordon. I don't know. My reason for picking these, and I have a couple of LL Bean PJs. The reason that I love these is they come in tall. First of all, I am tall, and it is hard for me to find PJs that are long enough, and I can't stand the top and pants PJs that end up around my ankles or higher. I won't wear them, and they frustrate me. So they come in the size tall. They come in, regular, plus, petite, tall, all different ranges, and they're warm, they're comfortable, they don't shrink. So I've washed these several times, and they're still a perfect length.
So soft, guys.
They really are.
As I'm, touching her, but very soft.
They're travel worthy, and by that I mean, when I go to someone's house and I'm staying, I want PJs I'm comfortable hanging out in around the house. And these check that box. Also, if I'm in a hotel and I want to run out and get ice and I'm already in my pajamas, I don't want to have to get dressed. I'm a big ice person. So I can't tolerate not having ice in my drink if it's meant to be a cold drink. And I'll very comfortably run out to the ice machine in my PJs if they're travel worthy. And these are. They're a little bit more expensive than you can find similar PJs. I have no doubt. I know they are. They're $79 on llbean.com. But again, this is one of those, the quality justifies the price items. And they also help me to sleep. They support that foundational habit of getting really good restorative sleep, because they're very comfortable. They're warm, but they're not too warm. And I live in Chicago. I can even go out in the morning and walk the dogs without needing to get dressed first to get my warm PJs. So if warm PJs that check those boxes are in your future, I invite you to check them out. All right, next up, again, I live in Chicago. So my next favorite thing is hot hands and little hotties toe warmers. I just call them hot toes, little hotties.
Cute. Little hottie toe.
Little hotties. Full disclosure, I buy these from Costco. They're not available at Costco.com. I buy them by the box, but they are available on Amazon. You get 20 of each for $36.95. The toes will stay hot for 5 hours. The hands will stay hot for 10 hours. I tuck these in the pocket of like every coat I wear. Will have a, one of these unopened. They're activated by air, so they're good to go until you take them out of the package, and then they're activated and you cannot reuse them or put them back in the package. It's one-time use. But I will tell you that they last at least that long. So
then some.
And then some. So the toe warmers, there are 2 in here. It looks like, I remember when I first bought them, I was like, wait a minute, but no, there's 2 in each pack. They have like a little adhesive. You peel it off, you stick it to the bottom of your sock. And I've worn this with any pair of shoes I would wear when it's cold enough to need them, and never had a problem with the shoe fitting properly. They don't bother my feet. They do keep them warm, and it lets me go and still be active and go on my walks in the winter and not be so uncomfortably cold that I'm turning around after I go, 100 feet. And I'm like, forget it, never mind, it's too cold. So they support my exercise routine. So again, that's a foundational habit that needs a little support this time of year.
Yes.
So hot hands and what I call hot
Love
toes, definitely ADHD friendly. All right, Becca's going to talk about this one because she recommended this to me.
Yes.
And it is a dry shampoo that I needed a new recommendation because mine was recalled and I didn't know where to go. And Becca knows a lot about hair.
So Not Your Mother's, it's a brand. They have plenty of other products, shampoos and other things for your hair. I love their dry shampoo. A little goes a long way. And the price point is so wonderful. I just feel like everything is so expensive nowadays, especially with hair care products that are actually benefiting your hair. So to have something that's going to get the job done without you feeling bad about how much you spent on dry shampoo. What she got is a 3-pack, all different scents. So yeah, it's just a really fun variety pack. And then I suggest just spraying it not too close to your roots. And a lot of residue will come out. So you either use your hands, a brush, or a comb, and you just get in there and work it through your scalp until all that oil has absorbed. So really easy. And yeah, just whenever you're, might not have the time to wash your hair or you have other things going on, use this dry shampoo. It's fantastic. That is
in
my
3 different scents.
recommendation. Yeah.
$16.99 for 3 on Amazon. Comes in toasted coconut.
This one is orange mango.
An original scent.
And original.
So, and you can buy them individually if you're like, oh, I don't want any scent, or I just want, original, nothing else in it.
It's also good for texturizing your hair too. If you're feeling a little limp at your roots and just want a little extra volume. I know one of those specifically is to build volume in your hair.
They do have different.
The purple one.
Yeah, different specific. That one says Plump for Joy, one says Clean Freak, and one says Beach Babe. That's the coconut one. But I did notice it didn't weigh my hair down. Right. I have noticed certain ones. So I'm like, what is the point?
Are super heavy.
Down.
I want to fluff it up. Yep.
So Not Your Mother's dry shampoo, $16.99 for 3 on Amazon. All right. The next is also one that Becca turned me on to. If you haven't checked it out, I invite you to check out last year's 21 favorite things, ADHD Friendly Favorite Things podcast, where I talked about one of my favorite things was the Pilot Frixion erasable pens. I still love them. What I don't love is they don't last very long. And that's true for this little guy too. This is Lineon, Lineon erasable gel pens. For 18 of these guys, look at that rainbow of colors. 18 of them.
So pretty.
Only $16.99 for 18. I looked yesterday at the Pilot Frixion ones. So for 15 of the Pilot, same design, same style. Yeah. Remember, there's 18 here. So for 15, $27.26.
Okay, so really, is this the better choice or what?
But when Becca brought these in, I was actually a little worried for her because I had tried the knockoff brands before because Frixion is so expensive. And Becca was like, I don't know what you're talking about. These were kind of like, when I tried them, they don't have a smooth flow when you write. They tend to like snag on the page, right? And there's like parts where no ink is coming out, and I just can't tolerate that. It's another kind of texture thing. Yeah. and tactile, if I'm not enjoying the feel of the writing, it
Writing
gets away
it.
from me writing.
Totally.
But Linian cracked the code.
Yeah.
These all write beautifully. They last, again, only about 2 weeks. You guys, if you've listened to my podcast, know I change my ink color every week. And the primary color is week 1, and then I'll switch into whatever the color was that I add the new primary color. That color becomes my secondary color. And it lasts about 2 weeks. So I found that same pattern with Frixion. I am really starting to get hot. How about you?
Yeah, it's getting toasty,
getting
in here,
toasty in here.
ladies and gents.
All right, so erasable pens. The one thing I always want to highlight when I share this with anybody, if they get wet, if you spill coffee, water, anything on them, everything you wrote will go away. It's like erasable ink. It's gone forever. There's nothing you can do. Don't use them for checks or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Signing that you wouldn't want somebody to erase, but for just things that you want ease of being able to cross, instead of crossing it off and making a mess, you can just erase it and write it again. Linian erasable gel pens from Amazon. All right, getting down to the nitty gritty here. Last few items. So I've got my Graphique Peanuts journal. It's $12.99 on Amazon. This is the cover.
So cute.
But I've shared how I use my journal every night, and to make it easier, I fold it open. I keep the pen inside the spiral. I need a spiral so it will stay open. And I write the date and I make the prompt. So this is for tonight. So full disclosure, we're recording this on November 18th. This won't come out for a few weeks. But I will write my number 1 and it's all ready to go because it pulls me into writing it. Here's the sparkle. It has my little Peanuts characters right there. It's the same ones on every page, back and front, which
It's
I love.
so cute.
I love it. I love the quality of the paper. It's just it's my favorite journal. So I ordered a new one from the same company called Happy Thoughts. Probably shouldn't take this out. It's pretty loud. I'll ask you to hold that.
Of course.
I expected it to have this picture inside. Unfortunately,
Plain.
I fold it over. So the picture on the cover really doesn't benefit me at all. It could be solid white and it doesn't matter. It was the picture inside that I find is very sparkly. And even if it's the same one, it still makes me happy when I see it. So this little guy is going to go back and I have to order the same one, even though it's the same picture. I didn't see another one that has that little image inside, and I just loved it so much that I'm going to get the same one again. So Graphique Peanuts journal, good size. I like the paper quality. The picture on each page creates interest, and it's only $12.99 on Amazon. All right, next I have a game. This is second to last thing.
Games.
And you guys, I love games, and I have a family, for whatever reason, I don't know why, they don't like board games. One of the things I have to tolerate, but they did like this one. My husband actually found this. It's called Quarto, and Quarto. It's a strategy game for adults is what it's called. It's available on Amazon for $37.99. It is easy to learn. It is a quick game. This is another one of those. It's a little pricey for a simple game. It's built almost like Connect 4, for any of you that played Connect 4, but in a nice wooden platform. And what it has is these little wooden pieces. And here's the thing, if Becca and I are playing, this is the strategy to it. Becca, it's your turn. So I'm going to give you the piece. Yeah. I decide what piece she plays, and you try to get 4 in a row of the same size and shape.
So
and now it's my
I
turn.
get to pick her piece. Give you this guy.
And so this is like a square dark brown, and I get to decide where to put it. And the first person to get the same height or shape or color 4 in a row wins.
Ooh.
So it's a pattern game, and I found I love looking at patterns.
Yeah.
And the pieces are really substantial, and it's so easy to play. I just taught you how to play in like 30 seconds. It's super simple, very sparkly, and it's fun. Quarto. The game that made the list, because it worked for my non-board game playing family. And then finally, the last thing in our 22 ADHD friendly favorite things is my Nespresso Virtuo, specifically the Virtuo coffee maker. Now, Nespresso is known for their espresso makers. I don't love espresso, but their coffee maker, oh yeah. So Becca's holding up the little pods, and can you turn and go close so they can see that each one has a little barcode? And if you turn it so they can see the size of it, like flat, That's an espresso one. The larger one is a coffee one. So only the Virtuo machine from Nespresso makes coffee and espresso. And here's what I love. Number one, it makes delicious coffee. And I mean like coffee shop quality, delicious coffee.
Yes.
It has that nice foam on top that is not artificial, that it just comes when you brew the coffee. You don't have to do anything extra.
That's not you.
I got mine from Costco. It was $137 at Costco.com. It is a member only item. So if you are not a Costco member, you can buy this on Amazon. It does not come with everything that the Costco one came with, but it is the same machine. And I think most of them also come with a milk frother. I honestly don't use that all that much, but the coffee is delicious. The varieties are delicious. And here's the ADHD friendly thing about it, besides being easy to make and delicious, is you don't have to make a ton of decisions. I've had Keurigs for probably a decade. I had 3 kind of lemons in a row. They just kept breaking and putting, coffee grinds all over the counter. It was a mess. And it just would irritate me to no end when I was just trying to make my cup of coffee in the morning. But I also had to pick not only what flavor I want. You do need to pick your flavor with these.
Yes.
But then I'd have to decide how hot do I want the water? How many ounces do I want it to brew?
Right.
These, there's no decisions. You pick your flavor, you put it in the machine, you push brew, and the barcode on it tells it what to do, how hot to make it, how many ounces of water to brew it with. It does it all. And it's perfect every time. I love, love, love this. It's why it made my list, because it turned my morning frustration into morning ease.
Yes.
And it pulls me out. Still, I've had this guy for a year.
At least. Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
And I'm never tired of it. It gets me out of my bed every morning, looking forward to when I can brew my cup of coffee. It's the last thing I do in my morning routine, and it's the most sparkly. It's my reward every day. And that's it. That is our 22 things in 2022, our 22 ADHD friendly favorite things. We did it. All right. 5 more minutes.
Yes.
Wrap it up. Not even 2 minutes, guys. 2. Just going to give you a quick update on our subscribers. I want to thank everybody that's taken the time to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel ADHD Friendly Podcast. We have seen our numbers go up so much in the last couple of weeks.
It's been crazy.
And I know for those of you that have thousands or hundreds of thousands, or like Adriene, millions of people following you, my number is going to sound really, really small. And according to all of the different research I've read on when you should give up your whole idea of having a podcast, I should have quit a year ago.
But here we are.
We still haven't hit our 100, but we're really, really close.
We are.
I should have brought my flip chart. I forgot my flip chart. Sorry. So many products. I didn't even think of it. We're at 93
subscribers.
And it's gone up like 40 in the last 6 weeks.
It's been incredible.
It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank
If you haven't subscribed, it'd be so nice to have you join us.
Tell your friends.
And share it with friends, family member, anybody that you think could benefit from the information shared here. It just is really, really helpful to know that the effort that we're putting into bringing this information out to you is getting to the people we really are motivated and inspired to support. It is our passion.
Yes.
And we just are so appreciative of the 93.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, quickly want to recap. I shared at the very beginning, remember way back, gosh, oh my gosh, you guys, this has been so long. I had a tech celebration. I made my custom ADHD friendly favorite things sticker for 2022. And then I shared a ADHD friendly tip about laughter and how to find things that make you laugh to help shift out of negative emotions into positive more easily. And I shared my Yogi Berra quotes, which were funny, right?
They were very funny. I laughed. I giggle a lot though.
And then I shared with Becca the 22 things that made the 2022 ADHD friendly favorite things list.
Patty's favorite things.
We're going to have a list of all of them. You'll be able to access them. And they're going to be, if you want to buy any of them and you just want to quickly get to them, if they're available on Amazon, they are on ADHDfriendly.com in the shop. So check out my website, ADHDfriendly.com. If you'd like to purchase them through the site. I am an Amazon affiliate, full disclosure. I do get compensated for anything purchased from my site, but the price is the same. So it doesn't impact the price of the product. But it does hopefully make it a little bit easier if you're like, oh, let me just go see the things that she was talking about. They'll be in there if they're from Amazon. And then I shared that we're up to 93 subscribers.
Yes.
And our subscribing tally for our YouTube channel. And then next week, the next episode, Becca, is a special episode. It's what I'm calling a special 10. Every 10th episode, I am focusing on your personal owner's manual. And this time I'm going to be sharing some physical examples of palms. So I'm going to highlight my physical palm and then share other examples of physical palms that might create some interest and sparkle for you to get started on yours. And reminder, if you haven't started your palm yet, it's not too late. Check out ADHDfriendly.com for some free resources and other options to support you in starting yours. That's it for this episode. Until next time, tally
Tally
ho!
ho!